Okay, I'm gonna start sharing. Oh, well, actually, before I share my screen, maybe we could start with introductions and then maybe other people would join. So I'll start with myself, and I am sorry I look terrible, but I'm jet lagged. Was overseas. I'm sick. I'm also fasting. So my name is Ahlam Muhtasab. I'm a professor of media communication studies, but my specialty is media studies. I'm also the graduate coordinator of the program. And this is my first year coming back as the graduate coordinator of the program, the graduate program. But I was the graduate coordinator for 6 years before, from 2014 to 2020. And I was in charge, mainly with other faculty, but I was the leader of the transformation of our graduate program from the quarter system to the semester system. So you could say that I know the graduate program like I know the back of my hand. So just to let you know. Um, and I'm so excited to have you. I would love first to do introductions so I could know you and, what do you have hope to get from this session, why you are joining us today. But we'll also introduce Dr. Alvarado since she's here, if you don't mind.
Of course, thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Alvarado. I am a faculty member in the Communication Studies Department like Huklam. I'm also in Media Studies. However, we study media from different perspectives and utilizing different methodologies, which I think strengthens our program. And I'm teaching my first graduate course at the university this fall, Feminist Media Studies. And so I love to just kind of learn about the students, their interests, how they're coming into the program, their areas. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Akram.
No, thank you for joining us. Okay, I will start with the left side of my screen. So the first one that shows on the screen is Elizabeth.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth. I am a senior graduating this semester. What brought me to the program is I would like to become a lecturer at community colleges, specifically in communication studies. My interest is hopefully getting accepted into the GTA program. I am excited to learn about the process. Mostly I'm here to learn about how to approach faculty and professors for recommendation letters. I know that for me, it's a little bit intimidating sometimes, and I'm afraid of rejection. So I'm here to maybe learn some strategies and some advice.
Okay, sounds good. Let me write just 1 second.
You're in good company, Elizabeth. I think a lot of academic professionals are always chasing the gold star, if you will. So it is not rare, and I'm with you on that.
We'll discuss
And
this, definitely.
yeah, coping mechanisms for that kind of perfectionism, if you will.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, for your interest in the program. How about you, Denise?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm also a senior graduating in May. I'm interested in the graduate program because at my level of career, even though I'm getting my bachelor's a little bit later in life, I realize that I need a master's in order to achieve the goals that I want to professionally. Right now, I work as an executive admin for the president at a community college. I'm looking to transition into a public affairs officer, sort of chief of staff role, which would require me to have a little bit more education behind me. So I'm super excited to be here with you all today. Some of the things that I'm looking for from this session are want to inquire about mentors and how they're assigned, if they are assigned, about getting a mentor for the program, and then also wondering how we zero in on a concentration for this program.
Okay. We actually don't have concentrations, but I will explain this in details.
Yeah.
And explain the nature of the program. But thank you, Denise, and welcome.
Welcome, Denise.
How about you, Marlena?
Hello, everyone. So I am a junior standing right now. I just transferred in fall. So I'm just kind of getting ahead of the curve. I just want to learn what steps I need to take now to get into a graduate program. And so I'm really here just to kind of listen in. I don't have anything specific just yet, and I know I will over time, but I just wanted to kind of
Honestly,
meet you and- yeah.
Marlena, this is very smart of you, honestly, because preparing early is actually a very good thing to do, and to keep an eye on what do I need to do during my last year really to make it easier for me to get accepted into graduate programs, and not only necessarily ours, but in general. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having this session.
Of course. Michele, is it Michele or
It's Michaela,
Michaela?
but
Sorry.
I like the way you pronounce it. It's pretty.
I had a student who had not exactly this spelling, but similar, and she went by Michele.
Oh, okay.
Sounded very French, so I like that.
So I am graduating this spring in May. And honestly, I wanted to join this session just to get more information because I am the first in my family to attend college, and I honestly have no idea where to start. So I just want to get as much information as I can and really see like what the program has to offer, and even if it's a good fit, just because I want to teach. So like I was also looking into the teaching credential program, but it wouldn't work out well with my current job. So I'm kind of like, I just want to see my options, I guess you can say, and see what I can do. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Sounds good. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen, guys, because I prepared a PowerPoint. Well, I didn't actually prepare it. It was it was the dean's office, but I fixed it a little bit to suit, my approach. And also I'm gonna be actually let me stop screening because I want to switch back and forth. So I'm gonna share my whole desktop because I want to show you the website also. Okay, can you all see my slides? All right, sounds good. Okay, so the first actually that goes to Denise's point. The first thing I want to mention is that we have only one track, and it's the communication studies track. In the past, we had another track called IMC, or Integrated Marketing Communication Track. We dismissed this track in 2015, just before the conversion, actually, maybe 2016. We first put it on ice, we froze it, and then we totally killed it, poor thing. Yeah, that was a very attractive track, but it was very hard to maintain because it was jointly with marketing. And every time we did changes to our curriculum or, to our structures, it created some problems. So eventually we decided to end it. But for now, we only have one generalist communication studies program. But within this program, you are allowed to actually kind of tailor your own program based on your interests, and I will explain in a minute. Let me tell you, by the way, the first picture, I like the pictures. Those were chosen by Emily, who's from the dean's office, who helped me with the presentation, as I said, and she picked those, our beautiful students. So this is Ariana Cano. She's a former student of us and was one of our superstars because she had papers, even one publication, and she's now a doctoral candidate at the University of gosh, I blanked. The University Urbana-Champaign. What is that, Raisa? Sorry, I forgot. At Urbana-Champaign, that's the University of Michigan, I think. Yeah. And she's almost done. She's still doing great things. And this is our former grad student, also Alexia Martinez, who is one of our adjunct, professors like part-timers, and also, excellent student. So our program is focused. We really try to help students finish in 2 years. That doesn't necessarily mean that all students finish in 2 years. Some students finish in 3 years or even more if they want to take their time. But the issue is it doable in 2 years? And yes, it is. We require 30 semester units. Half of those are core classes and half of them are electives. And I can go on the website, go and show you the where to find information on the exact, breakdown, more information about things that I might not cover today. But for now, I'm just going to continue. As I said, you can tailor your program. So in our department, we have faculty specialized in 3 main areas. The first one is media studies, and that's actually the largest concentration at the undergraduate program. The second area of study is organizational and human communication. So if you're interested in interpersonal communication, family communication, things like of that nature, then that's what you could do. And the third one is strategic communication, or as we used to call it in the past, public relations. And that's more like corporate integrated marketing communication, a little bit, I mean, not too much, but it's more on the business side, on the corporate or organizational side as well. And we also have a tiny, kind of interest based on the availability of our faculty, which is instructional communication. And that goes hand in hand with our graduate teaching associateship program, which I will discuss in a minute in details. By the way, I don't mind if you guys stop me and ask me questions. It's hard for me to track the chat. So yeah, I'll try, but I prefer if you raise your virtual hand or you just speak up and ask the question instead of putting it in the chat. So, that's why we offer courses in, a wide range of, subtopics in communication studies. We really focus on critical approaches, ethical standards in communication, because as probably some of you know, unfortunately, communication could have a negative reputation because some of the unethical practices by certain, especially corporates. So we emphasize ethical communication. This is one of the questions, what do I do with the degree, right? And, what are future potential prospects of getting the degree in our program? And it's actually multiple. It allows you to be a faculty member, as some of you is interested, right? I think it's Elizabeth who said she was interested. So yes, you can be with an MA and first, at least, part-time instructor in our department, possibly, but also in many, many colleges around us, because we train you and prepare you to teach the GE class of public speaking or oral communication. Depending on the college, they either call it oral communication or oral communication or public speaking. And that's actually, that class is in demand. I always receive, emails from, the junior colleges or community colleges around us, asking me to recommend part-time teachers, because they have this need for labor to staff those classes. Dr. Alvarado, you have your hand up.
Oh, yes, Akram, I love your point. You're absolutely correct. And I just wanted to kind of reiterate is that when you have a master's in communication studies, you're also eligible for tenure track positions in community colleges to teach the
That
discipline.
was coming. Yeah, that was
perfect.
coming,
Just kidding. I know you.
We're taking it step by step. Yeah. So that's so my point was actually that you would immediately have employment if you are into teaching. Our placement is usually 100%. Our students don't have a problem immediately finding positions. As I said, sometimes they teach in several community colleges. But as Dr. Alvarado said, if you have ambitions to continue, actually, it's because some of our students want to do it on the side. They want to have, 8 to 5 job but to be able to teach 1 or 2 classes. So this is one option. But if you are into teaching and you want a more, permanent position, more stable, kind of a job, then you could, yes, there are multiple, opportunities around us for you to apply for a tenure track position. And by tenure, we mean job security, in academia. And you can start as assistant professor and go up the ladder. So that's also one alternative, but also you can go up for your PhD. So our program, as you saw from, at least you are going to see more examples of our students and their pictures. So many of our students end up going for their PhDs, and thus they become eligible to teach at universities, 4-year higher education, institutions, where they could become also tenure track, first assistant professors, then associate, then full professors, or become independent researchers. So the sky is the limit in terms of what to do with the master's in communication studies. And this is if you are into academia, but there are also multiple opportunities for you. We have alumni who work in corporates. So Microsoft, this is one of my actually former grad students who is now a high-ranking officer, with Microsoft. We have people working. Actually, one of my former graduate students was even the executive director of the National Communication Association Convention, which is not a corporate. We are talking now about a non-governmental or non-profit organizations. One of my students ended up working for the Miami Heat, and she was into sports communication. You can end up working in entertainment. One of our former grad student is actually a producer. He worked on TV series like Mom, if you have ever watched any. I used to love that, actually. So, we have a lot of other examples, as you can see, for what you can do with the degree. And if you have specific questions after we finish, you're welcome to. Some of our former graduate students, like Jessica Vieira, ended up having a full-time position with the Strategic Communication Office on our campus. So that's a very good, well-paid job security also in our own institution. Do you have any questions before I move on to the next slide? Okay. Let's talk about the GTA program, since I mentioned it and since some of you actually asked about it, which stands for the Graduate Teaching Associateship Program. So this program is one of our really great selling points, because we actually provide a lot of support for our students to be able to teach a class independently, which is not necessarily the case in other universities for 2 reasons. The first reason is there are many other institutions who don't provide any support or training or, supervision, also constant supervision, while we do. Even for me, myself, when I was selected to be a graduate teaching associateship, when I was doing my doctorate at the University of Memphis in Tennessee, I remember we only met like a couple of times a semester and chatted about things, and there was no formal training program. I didn't know what I was doing. They just gave me the syllabus and gave me the materials and gave me 2 classes, and here you go, start teaching. So that was, you can tell, it was very stressful. I don't know about you, Dr. Alvarado. Did you have a similar experience, or was you more supportive?
Yeah, I'm a very proud Cal State alumna, and I think I did my master's degree at California State University, Long Beach, and they had a similar structure where we got the experience of teaching during our studies, and I can just tell you it benefited me immensely.
Okay, great. So we do actually provide support, training. We have the GTA coordinator is Dr. Joanna Grant from our, Joanna Grant from our, department. She's a great mentor to many of our current and former GTAs. She could coach you, mentor you, help you throughout the process. And so when you are given first year, you are given one class, and that's because we want to make it easy on you. So you get to know the materials and slowly, have your footing, etc. So you would have training during summer for, I think, a few days. And actually, we pay you for the training. So that's the good news. So you don't only do the training, but you get paid for it. And then we give you the materials and the syllabi. And then you can tailor it the way you want, but we give you like a shell syllabus to use. And as I said, you get one class independently. And Dr. Grant would visit you twice a semester to observe your class and give you feedback and help you, improve and just grow as an instructor. The second year, if you are doing well and you have good reports of your progress and students seem to overall be satisfied with your teaching, you can actually apply for, and most of the time we give you 2 classes the second year. The payment is kind of, they call it what, subsistence and or allowance. So it's not great, I'll be honest with you. This is one of the things that as someone who cares about labor and union issues, I don't like about the program. Although we got the students, actually the GTAs got a raise in fall, a tiny bit of raise. So that's not my favorite part, but at the same time, it really gives you an advantage when you go out for, to get a position after graduation. It really situates you very well. One thing you could do also to be more competitive, it's a competitive program. It's not like an automatic selection. So you have to submit, and I could talk about the submission process in a minute. But you have to submit an application and do an interview. And if you are selected, of course, then you do the training and then you start teaching. There was something else I wanted to say. Now I can't remember, but anyway, I will get back to that.
Really quickly, can I ask a question as I'm learning about the program?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What was that?
Oh, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, but your voice is so hard to understand. I think it
might be my headphones. Can you hear me now?
yes, the headphone. Can you take them off if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Ah, there you go. You sound like a human being now. You sounded like a robot. You sounded like a robot before.
Oh no. Okay. No, the question I had was how many GTA positions do we have every cohort year?
So, in reality, the person who employs GTAs is the chair. And so usually it's the chair in cooperation and coordination with the GTA coordinator. They decide on how many we admit. We have as little as 3 GTAs and as high as 10, I think, at one point. Usually usually the healthy number is, and now actually we have reduction in enrollment over the last few years. So I would say probably 4 to 5 is a reasonable, maybe maximum 6, which is not bad. I mean, our program is not very big, right? So that's not necessarily a bad number. But honestly, I don't know. Each year it's different. It really depends on the chair's needs of staffing. As I said, you teach only public speaking, by the way, I forgot to mention that. The public speaking class 1006, I think. I'm struggling still with the new numbers after we did the transformation. And the GTA also has a say in this because the GTA coordinator, because we don't want to overwhelm the GTA coordinator with all the class visitation and supervision that they have to do. So that's basically how we do it. That
Thank
was,
you so much.
thank you for the question. Everyone else, if anyone has a question, please jump in. I don't have a problem with that. Do you have any questions about the Yes, Elizabeth, go ahead.
Do you recommend maybe contacting Dr. Joanna Grant just to get a little bit more information about the process, or would this be enough for us to understand the GTA program?
Yeah, I mean, communicating Dr. Grant is always a good idea, but I can also go over the application process quickly with you. Well, I could link it actually to which I wanted to talk about later, but I can do it now. So the application process to our graduate program, maybe I could skip this. You know what? Let me do it in a minute. Hold on this thought, but I could go and explain it. But other opportunities, just to know, of support. Many of our graduate students end up being communication consultants with the Speaking Center, which is run jointly by our department and the John Brown Business School. And we also have limited graduate research assistantships, and those are actually provided not by the department, but by the professors themselves. If they have a grant, if they have professional development money extra. I've done this before where I hired, graduate research assistants, and I paid them out of my own professional development money. So those are separate. Unfortunately, we don't have a budget in the department to offer those officially, like we would have, like other departments would have like 10, research or graduate research assistants a semester, and then you compete for those. No, it's actually usually professors who come up with funding to hire their own graduate research assistants. And we have from time to time some scholarships. I'm going to go over the website in a minute and show you those. I hope we don't run out of time. And that's the website, by the way, if you want to take a screen capture, or just go on csusb.edu and find communication studies. Oh, by the way, this is another amazing picture of one of our former students, Andre Adame. And Ande was my student, actually, one of our really excellent students. And he was our outstanding graduate student when he graduated, and I was his mentor. And Andre is now finishing his doctorate at UCI, University of California, Irvine, in informatics, because Andre was into VR and into gaming research, and his whole thesis was actually on measuring, let me remember his topic, I supervised it, measuring social presence in VR-based gaming versus non-VR based gaming. So we have some cool, topics that you could choose to do your thesis or project when you graduate. And there is another option, which is comprehensive exams. So we can talk about this later. And that's, you see, I didn't pick the pictures, but I love this picture of me and one of our professors who unfortunately, he left us, Larry. He's one of my friends. Larry, hi, he is now at Dominguez Hills. Unfortunately, he left us. Okay, we have a question from Marlena. Go ahead.
Yes. I am definitely interested in the GTA program. Would I still be able to take advantage of the research assistantship if a faculty did want me to assist them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's no contradiction. So there is a limit to how many hours you can work in a semester. So as long as you maintain that, and I can't remember the limit for a full-time student.
I believe it's 20 hours.
Yeah, as long as you maintain that, you should be fine.
Okay.
The only restriction we have, if you are a full-time staff member,
yes,
can't be a GTA. Then that actually
okay. That's good information because I am a full-time
But if you are part-timer, if you are only a part-time staff member,
okay.
then you should be fine. But
Okay.
I had actually with my So both of the last two student assistants, graduate assistants I had, both of them were also GTAs. So they were assisting me, but I hired them for only maybe 7 hours a week, 10 hours a week, because I paid them out of my professional development money. So of course I couldn't hire them for many hours a week. So other professors might be able to employ you for longer because they have grants. Like I know Dr. Heisterkamp hired one of our current graduate students. He's still hired by through his grant, one of his grants, and that students probably work either 20 hours or even more a week. So there are many opportunities. It really depends on the funding that a faculty member has. All right,
Thank you.
so you're welcome. So when you apply, so what do you need to know about the application process? So we ask you for 1-page essay or statement of purpose in which you explain to us why you want to be out in our program. Things like you just shared with me, but put it in writing in a more formal way and in more details. Why is our program a good fit for you, and why are you a good fit for our graduate program? How does it fit into your professional objectives and goals? Things like that. And it's just one essay. It's very simple thing, and just to tell us. And sometimes those are very important because they reveal something to us that's not necessarily like we are gonna reject you, but I've had students who in their 1-page essay said something like, I want to work in media production. And then I immediately would write them back and say, I think I just need to explain to you that you might be in the wrong program because we don't do media production at the graduate level. This is only at the undergraduate level. So we don't offer graduate classes in media production. That's not really one of our focus, for example. So I might just communicate with you. That's why it's important to write this 1-page and put your ideas there, because I might, find something and tell you, well, be careful. Maybe that's not the program for you. And you need 3 letters of recommendation. At least 2 of these should be from former professors and it's very important they attest to your academic aptitude or potential, right? They talk about your writing style, your research abilities, etc. One could be from your boss, from your manager, etc. Or I've seen some people have even like politicians write a letter for them. We could tolerate one, but not more than one, because again, the idea of having letters of recommendation is to know your academic potential. And I skipped the first one. I'm going back to that. Is a writing sample. Now, the reason I skipped it because we might change this, but probably not for this year. So probably for this year, we're gonna still require you to have a professional writing sample, and please be careful to avoid using AIs, because the reason why we are changing this requirement is because it's easy now actually to kind of flag AI generated writing samples. So make sure you don't do that. Now, if you want at the same time to be considered for a GTA Elizabeth, you could add 2 more things to your application and you would be considered automatically for the GTA positions if you are admitted to the program. And the first one is another statement, 1 page also, in which you do something similar to the statement for the graduate program. But in this one, you tell us why you want to be in the GTA program. Your, again, professional goals. So you already said it, you just take this and put it on paper and expand a little bit on it and make it more formal. And, share with us if you have any experiences that would actually help you become a GTA. So students list things like volunteering at a church even, or, like tutoring. Tutoring is also a good way. Or maybe you've taught 1 or 2 classes for a faculty member, or maybe you sub at a K through 12 school, right? Anything that could help you to show that you have some experience or some potential for being a GTA is highly recommended. I just actually looked at some of our application this morning, and one of the students who's coming to us from Long Beach, actually, Cal State Long Beach, she listed her debate, and she has really an impressive, experience and even awards in debate and in what do you call it? Like rhetorical competitions and things like that. And so she listed that in her essay for the GTA program. Anything you might find related that could help you actually stand out, I would definitely put it in that one-page essay, the extra one, right? And the other piece that you would add as extra, if you are interested in the GTA program, is your resume or CV. One important thing, which is not written here about the requirements, one important requirement is your GPA, of course, it has to be 3.0 or more. But we do consider some of the GPAs below 3.0 if the student, shows several things in their statement of purpose. This is also your chance to talk about if you had any difficulty in life that impacted your completion of your program, your grades. So one of the applications I reviewed this morning was for a student who said that a combination of being a homeless student and COVID impacted the first 2 years of can't remember, but I think the first 2 years of their undergraduate program and thus their grades. So if you write something like this, of course, then we might consider your application and then we go through a thorough process of evaluating, well, this student had difficult times, when they were in their undergraduate program, but do they show potential to succeed in the graduate program since their issues were solved, for example, or they might need some help and then their issues should. So there has to be a combination between, yes, I had some difficult times, but I think I could do this because of the following reasons. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions about the application? This is important, so please ask the question if anything was not clear. No questions? All right, and okay, Denise, go ahead.
A quick question regarding the academic.
Your voice is very low. Can you maybe come closer?
I'm so sorry.
Huh.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So regarding the academic or professional writing sample, I just wondered if it was appropriate to submit something that, an essay or something that we had written for class.
Yes, that's exactly the expectation.
Sorry,
that's a good question.
Zeroing in on the professional writing.
Yeah, if you have a senior project, if you have this really excellent paper that you wrote in one of the class. I had a student today from, maybe it's the Long Beach student, I can't remember, who actually submitted like 4 different samples from their classes that I guess they were proud of their writing samples. And I was like, okay, you need 1, but that's fine. I'll take 4, that's okay. But yes, absolutely, that's what we are expecting. We can see like you have already the potential, because writing is very, very crucial for our graduate program. Most of our classes are writing intensive. So that's why we really have a special focus on writing. Any other questions? So the application is available on the website of our graduate studies, School of Graduate Studies. And I can show it to you in a minute. This is my last slide. Let me switch and please feel free to ask questions. Those are the websites, and here's my email, but let me put it in the chat. It might be easier for you to grab it from the chat. So you can always email me with any questions you have. Okay. Let me show you the websites now. I'm gonna switch gears. Do you see our website? I can.
Yes.
Okay, good. I usually write communication.csu and it pops up by itself and changes the URL, it reroutes it. That's our old URL. I don't even try to remember this one. I just write communication.csusb and it comes up. So if you go to the graduate program, you have all the information you need, starting from about our program, which I gave you an overview, but here, of course, we have way more information. For example, when we talk about 3-unit program, if you click on this link, it's going to take you actually to our catalog and gives you detailed information about everything and all the requirements for graduation that I can't cover in this session. And we have, some highlights from our, previous events, and these need some updating and adding more, but that's on my to-do list. Highlights of some of our graduate students here, our alumni and their achievements. Lacey Kendall, most people know her. She's very famous in our university, but Lacey was my student and I was the one who recruited her from her undergraduate program. All right, and there are other important information like how to apply. So I have it here. And actually we have also the link to our School of Graduate Studies, which is here. If you click on this link, it's going to take you to the Cal State Apply website. And it's really easy to use. It's not complicated, but if you have any issues, please reach out. I'm here for you guys. That's why I get the big fat check, which is a myth. And Dr. Alvarado could tell you that.
I can attest.
I don't
We
agree.
definitely don't do this for the money, put it that way.
Yeah, and actually, I don't even get extra pay to do the graduate program. I only get class releases, which I appreciate and I love. But I love working with grad students. It's my passion. I love doing the graduate program more than anything else. Okay, so the application, the deadline, minimum requirements, in more details, I gave you like the main things that you need to know, but this is where you can find all the details. Okay, so funding opportunities. Let's look at this, because as I told you, from time to time, we have special scholarships that are not necessarily permanent, but they come and go, and they are usually merit-based. So this year we had one, let me see if it's still here, on the chancellor's. I thought I added that. No, maybe we took it. Okay. That's weird because I thought we had this very unique scholarship that was in the amount of, I think, $7,000 or $8,000. And two of our actually graduate students ended up getting it. They basically, shared it. But that was one time kind of scholarship. Maybe, hopefully we'll get it also next year. You never know. Sometimes our rich alumni tell us, well, I want to sponsor 2 students or 5 students or whatever. So these always come and go, and you can find them here. I think maybe we took it out because it was a one-time thing. We also have the doctoral incentive programs. We have different ones of those. Those are actually provided by the Chancellor's Office, the Chancellor of the whole CSU system. This is a good one also, especially for, people of color or marginalized communities. They could apply for the Graduate Equity Fellowship. And a lot of our students in the past, graduate students, got those. And we have the state university grants and travel grants. If you go to a conference, those are great. And multiple other opportunities that you could find on the website of grad studies. And we have the link here, and we also have it, I think, here. So make sure you also look at those, because I discovered, honestly, students sometimes don't know the resources available to them. I usually put on my syllabus a long list of resources because we provide students with a lot of great resources if you are not one of our CSUSB students, like, the iPad, computer, or, laptop loan program. The care team has a lot of resources. Students don't even know you could take a loan up to $500 a year, I think, if you have some financial difficulty. And if you pay it off when things are better, you can apply for another one if you fall on hardships, etc. So we have so many opportunities, but I always discover that our students don't know about them. This area has not all, because it's like pulling teeth. Keep on asking students, please send me your bio and your picture. Most of them don't, but our current students are on top, and then our alumni, later. And what else do I want to show you? Of course, our faculty. We have 2 faculty members here, but we have a big group of faculty who have impressive resumes. You can check them out, check their work, and what they do, their research. We can learn about their grants, stuff like this. And you can click on any of these images and get more info from those. So if I click on randomly on Dr. Popescu, it's going to pop up her, page where she probably listed her, oh, she doesn't have her CV. I have my CV and my bio and everything. So mine is actually has more information. But anyway, you get the idea. Okay, how did we end up here? Let's see. Anything else?
Look at all those tabs you have open.
Oh my God, don't judge me for my tabs, please. I love my tabs. Okay, that's the crazy part of me. All right.
No, I love it.
So meet the graduate coordinator if you want information on me, or if you didn't catch my email, everything is listed here. The program bulletin is an important tab here, actually. I did the thing this is when we brag about our grad students, and this one I need to update. Honestly, I haven't updated in a long time. Sorry. So now I lost you. What did that?
I have to step out, but I just wanted to say that I'm so excited that so many students came to this informational. Dr. Muntasaf, thank you so much for all the valuable information. I continue to learn more about the program, the application process, and really to the students that are here, we look forward to your applications. We're a program that deeply care about and mentor our students, and that's something I can attest to.
Yes, and we have amazing faculty like Dr. Alvarado that you could definitely benefit from. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate
Of course. Thank you for
giving
having
us
me.
some energy, because obviously I'm very low on energy today because of
No, I get it.
and being sick. So, but
No,
thank
you're
you
doing
so
great.
much.
Bye.
Bye. Marlena, you have a question.
Yeah, so I just thought of this, but I am one of those students who have a GPA that's going to be below 3.0 when I do apply to the program. What would make me a strong candidate besides a strong statement of purpose? What else could I do?
Well, the good news is that's good that you came to this session early, because then you can work on the most important part is to improve your GPA and make sure you get really give yourself a push in terms of the GPA.
Yes.
One thing that might help you and other students, of course, is that we look at either your cumulative GPA
Okay.
or your last 60 units if you are on the semester system. No.
Okay.
Yes, 60 units, or last 90 units if you are on the quarter system.
Okay.
So why the last 60 units? Because that tells us if a student was struggling at the beginning, but then they actually went ahead, and we look at, the distribution of the grades, and it's obvious that towards the end of their program, they were actually getting all these great grades. Then that helps in convincing us that you just had some tough time, but you have the potential.
Okay.
Just list anything extra about yourself in the application that might help us in the evaluation. And also, letters of recommendation are
Okay.
very crucial. And that's why I emphasize try to get 3 professors to write your letters of recommendation and say, well, this student struggled, but this student had so much to give, right?
Yeah.
So these are the things that could help you.
Okay.
Elizabeth,
Thank
go
you.
ahead. Of course, Marlena.
Yes, I have a question about the GTA again. You mentioned that we're not allowed to do more than 20 hours, work more than 20 hours if we're a GTA. Did I understand that correctly?
I'm not really sure. Honestly, you have to check with Dr. Grant. But I know there is a limit on the hours you could work on campus, though. But not
Okay.
off campus. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I hope I didn't confuse you with that. Yes, I mean, oh my goodness, I had students who had 2 jobs outside of we can't control this, but on campus, yes, there is a limit.
Okay. My internship is at a community college, and my mentor is considering hiring me as a supplemental instructor. So I wondered if that would conflict with the
No.
GTA program. Okay.
Absolutely not. That would be helpful actually, because it goes hand in hand with you improving, your teaching potential. So I would argue that it's not an issue at all.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And last thing I want to show you guys, and then I will just take questions and just have a chit chat, is the handbook. So the handbook it's about 23 pages long, I think, but it has, all detailed information about the credit program. You could just click here and it's going to open a page for you. And this gives you, even if you want more details, like the expectations for graduation, how to do the cumulative experience. Are you going to do a thesis, a project, or comps? What are the differences? All of these nitty-gritty details are actually listed here. And now I'm going to stop sharing, and I see something in the chat. Okay, that's, I think, Mikaela. You're still here, Mikaela. That's great. Okay, let's chat, guys. Let's see. What do you think? Do you have any questions? Do you feel excited to
I feel
dive?
super excited.
Okay.
I feel super excited, mostly because I had doubts about just about the GPA. I do have I have a higher 3 point. I have a 3.0 GPA, 3.2 specifically. But I had a difficult journey through my education, in the middle of my education, and unfortunately there's a lot of withdrawals on my record. And I had a fear about how that looked on my transcript. But with the information that you provided, that we can make the case in our letter, that's really helpful for me. So it's a weight off my shoulders.
Yes, and Elizabeth, and everyone else, students usually think they are anomaly, right? That, oh my God, I'm a bad student, or I'm the only one. But serving our institution is different. We are not serving privileged upper, status students. Most of our students are actually, most of them suffer because the majority of our students are first generation students, like 80%, about 80% of them, sometimes more, sometimes less. A lot of our students also are on financial aid, on the Bill Grant and other forms of financial aid. And so it's important for us to be true to our students and find ways to help them, and not just to put standards. The standards are important because you need equality, right? Fairness. But also you need to dig deep when you have to for equity. So there is fairness, but there is equity. That not all students come at the same level of preparation. And we definitely take this into consideration. But if we feel the student is serious, the student is struggling, and they are trying to overcome their conditions and their hardships, then we definitely take this into consideration. If you show us the potential, if you show us that you are, a hardworking students who would eventually actually succeed in the graduate program. But we also want to make sure that you are going to succeed and you are, like that you have the potential. Why? Because it's also unfair if we reject a student and accept you, so you are taking a seat away from another student, then to discover that the student is not serious. And I had those. I actually just had one in fall who drove me nuts, I'll be honest with you. And I was like, here we go. I gave you this opportunity that you took away from someone else, but you're not taking this seriously. So we have to have this balance between, I want serious students, who have academic potential, who are serious about their project objectives, but at the same time, I understand if they fell on hard times, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I do have a question. How many spots are available for the graduate program?
Okay, so to have a healthy graduate program, we usually try to maintain around this is how we calculate it, 18 new graduate students in our gatekeeper class, which is 6,000. Now, to get 18 in class does not necessarily mean I admit 18. Why? Because a lot of students drop, a lot of students go to other programs, change their mind. There are many reasons why students don't necessarily enroll after they are admitted. So I usually end up admitting up to 24 or even 26. If I have good students or students I really want in the program, I might even like stretch it a little bit. So around 26, that's the golden number for me. 24 to 26 is what I try to admit, because I want to have at least 18 end up in my, not at least, sorry, maximum actually 18 in my graduate program. Does that make sense? It's hard to
Yes,
get
it
the
does.
exact number. And sometimes when I see like 5 students that never responded to me and they are not coming to the graduate, I end up actually going back to the pool and pulling few more like good applications or maybe fair applications and admit the students. So sometimes I do that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Sure. Denise, did you have a question? I felt like you were trying to ask a question.
I did, yeah. I was just wondering. Well, I have to pop off in a couple of minutes, but the website is great. It has so much information. I just wanted to say you guys did a great job of providing every possible resource on that website.
Thank
I
you.
haven't got through all of it yet, but
I still have to update it, but
yeah,
the news,
yeah.
actually, it's mainly the news we have great news of our students, but thank you.
Yeah, and I work at a community college, and that GTA program you have is amazing. I took one of my core classes before I transferred with CSUSB alumna, and she was incredible. Cecilia Gutierrez.
Oh, Cecilia, she's my former grad student.
Yeah, she did. She did just an incredible job.
Absolutely.
So, even though I'm not interested in teaching, I do think the people that love to teach need to be in the classroom. We need good teachers.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to see so many people interested.
And sometimes it's just, it's something as a backup plan. People use it as a backup plan. If things don't work out for you in what you're trying to do, you could teach so you have food on the table until, you get your dream job. I've seen students do this all the time. It's not really what they want, but, I'm good at this and I can do it until I find my dream job. So, or, teach 1 or 2 extra classes. I have a meeting at 1 actually, and I remembered I am the one who provided the link. I have to jump on that link. But guys, reach out. It was really nice to have you. Please reach out anytime, and I will send also the information about my next session. You are welcome to come back. There is no limit to how many times you can come back, even if you want to ask a question. So have a great
Awesome.
day and have a great
Thank
week.
you. Have a good
Thank
weekend.
you.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.